While I'm alone and blue as can be, dream a little dream of me. I kept like restarting because I was like, I want to do it, but I don't want to do it. Let's just see how it lands. Um, anyway, the song meaning. Now that we're to the very end, clearly the song meaning means that Nicole's idea of Jonathan was just a little dream that she had to wake up from. It only took her 3 whole months, according to like what he said. I didn't realize it was over the course of 3 whole months, but I'm like, yeah, that time lapse does make more sense. Yeah, she had to wake up. She had to wake up. Are we satisfied? I have so many questions for you guys. Okay, are we satisfied? I keep looking directly into the light. Are we satisfied with how this ended? That's my number 1 question. My number 2 question is, what's next? What are we watching next? What are you thinking? What are you interested in? Some things that I've written down is Big Sky has a little controversy around it. It's a little mystery on ABC, I think. I don't know. It's on Hulu. I don't know. It's on some network first and then they play it on Hulu the next day. I don't know. And then The Con, I don't know what happened to that. If you watch this channel and you saw that little series I did on The Con, I don't know what happened to The Con. It just disappeared. HBO True Crime. They're just having like a new little true crime boom where they're coming out with all different little documentaries and series and stuff. I don't know. And then Queen's Gambit. I mean, everyone has already talked about it. I watched it. I have opinions. I don't know. Let me know below if you care to hear my opinion on that. But like, let's get into it. Like, was this finale, like, I feel like y'all were coming up with better endings than the show came up with. Because I feel like this ending was like, yeah, duh, it's Jonathan. Like, that's, duh, it's Jonathan. Like, let's just get to it. If you're watching the finale, review, reaction, whatever, you already know. Full spoilers, obviously. And this is like, this episode, what's true about every episode of the show is that Grace is not paying attention to Henry. Like, she's supposed to be like so caring and loving of Henry, and I think she does love her son, but she's never watching him. Never ever watching him. That's apparent when he's outside playing and finds a whole murder weapon, a whole ass murder weapon, and he knows exactly what to do. Hide it. What? Come on now. It's crazy. It's craziness. And then y'all called it because you guys said he's hiding it for his father. You guys said that in the comment section of my last video, which was the theories video. There's only 2. Oh, and I was like, how is Henry hiding? I literally wrote this down. How is Henry hiding the murder weapon? There's only 2 of them at the beach house at that time. Remember? She went to the beach house with Henry. There's only 2 of them there. There's nothing else for her to be preoccupied or doing. She's not watching him. She should have been on the porch watching him play. And then when he found a freaking murder weapon, she would have been like, what's that, Henry? You know, like, I'm done. Like, she's not the greatest mom in the world. Let's just call it what it is. First of all, my man Franklin, get him Franklin, get him Franklin. Because, okay, this is what I'm talking about. In the scene when everything is starting to hit the fan, Haley is there. It's the middle of the night. Everyone is finding out that Henry had this murder weapon hidden in his violet case. And and he said, I found it at the beach house. And then Jonathan, pointing fingers in whatever direction he can, as usual, says, well, Alves probably followed us there. That was one of the places we would meet, me and Elena. Girl, Franklin was like, at my family house. At my family house. And they had to hold him back, like, hold Franklin back. Yes. I'm Team Franklin. At the end of all this, I'm Team Franklin. Like, he was saying everything. I would have been outraged as well. How dare you? Get him, Franklin. Get him, Franklin. Henry said, oh, and then Haley, okay. And then Henry kept looking back and forth. For a second, I thought that Henry was like in on it with his dad for a second, but when we get to the end, obviously that's not true. Haley said it. She said, well, we'll deal with this the smart way, and then we'll deal with our ethical egos later. Our ethical egos? girl, as soon as she threw around the phrase ethical ego, I would have fired her. But Grace takes a long time to come around. She takes a long time to like get it together in her mind. So she can't, you know what I mean? She can't like just make a strong decision and stick with it. So I would have fired her. I would have fired Haley and be like, no way, ma'am. You just told us to hide a murder weapon. No way. And then it's great to me. This is the part after all these episodes where she decides to finally wake up, is when Jonathan starts saying, whoa, do you think Henry did it? It's so shocking. My head is spinning. And I'm just like, and Grace is like, you have to leave. How could you say that? And I'm like, girl, what do you mean, how could he say that? He said the same thing about you last week. Did he not just say to you last week, why were you there? You're suspicious. I think it's Mr. Alves. I think it's, the fairy, the tooth fairy. I think it's the Grinch. He was pointing fingers wherever he could point. He was blaming anyone he could blame, literally. And then, so she finally wakes up. She's like, you have to get out. So I think this is the turning point for her where she makes that decision. Like, oh, I gotta throw him under the bus because he will destroy my son. And I love my son. Like, that reminds me of that dramatic moment on the Kardashians where she's like, it was Courtney talking to Scott. I love you, Scott, but I love Mason more. Like... She's like that. She's only like one notch away from that. Like, because of how long it took for her to get to that conclusion. That's, I can't. I would have called the police. I keep saying that. I would have called the police like 10 times. I say that every time. Playing the cancer card. Oh, first of all, we'll get into that in a second. But then I think that's when she decided to call Sylvia. And now it's a cute theory, like, did she have an affair with Sylvia? Because in the end, they like walk off holding hands. But I think it's just like, we're all in cahoots. Me, Franklin, Sylvia, all in cahoots together. And then I just thought, it was really disgusting and despicable when when Jonathan got on the stand and he decided to play the cancer card. And this is what his doctor colleague said several fucking episodes ago. His colleague was like, he does not do this to like save people or heal people. He gets like an ego boost. He has like a hero syndrome where he wants to be the hero of the situation. And it's like not normal. So you don't understand him. You don't understand Jonathan. Everybody, and this is why the ending is kind of like, everybody Franklin told her, Sylvia told her, the colleague at the hospital told her, Alves told her, the detectives were kind of hinting like, we think there's something off with him. The defense attorney, did the pro bono defense attorney, the pro bono defense attorney said that he's the only one who's like, I don't know, he may not have done it. He doesn't seem like a killer to me. But he's the one out of everybody who knew him the very least. So you got to take his perspective with a grain of salt. Even Henry came around at the end and was like, yeah, he fucking did it. He fucking did it. Like, I just got to let it go. Like, he's a murderer. Like, hey, got to move on and find a date to homecoming next year. It is what it is. So Henry is supposed to be 12. Yeah, a 12-year-old still couldn't have done it. Literally playing the cancer card. Oh my gosh. And when he said, I love Miguel. He loved Miguel like a son. And then I'm like, thank you to the girl, the prosecutor. The prosecutor's little smirks. She was giving all these little smirks. You had to have noticed that she did several situations where she was like giving a smirk. She's like, when she's about to ask like a certain question, she's like, so you cared so much about Henry. So is that why you let him discover his mom's dead body? Yeah, right. And that's oh my gosh. And then it's like he loved Elena, but he didn't call the police, even though he wasn't the one who killed her. The timeline, that timeline really didn't make sense. You know what, now that I'm thinking about it, I wasn't thinking that hard about the timeline because everything took place at night. I was thinking that he did this like in the wee hours of the morning. No, it was that night and he left the next morning. But anyway, then she went on that famous walk with Sylvia. They went on that famous little stroll where they concocted the little plan. And then next, poor Miguel. Poor Miguel. Miguel is just caught in the crossfire. And this is what I said, why is your son at the trial? And then she's like, well, he's here. He's on the witness list. So I can call him if I want to. And, you know, why even have him here unless you're using him as a prop? And I'm like, oh, my Lanta. That's what I said. Why is he there? Why were any children there at all? Okay, you don't have an explanation either? Okay. And then, like, they were fighting. Of course they were fighting. Of course they were fighting. Like, she was cheating. Like, what do you think? And he told his teachers. And then, like, and then they're trying to kick Grace out of the school. I'm just like, your teachers know that Mr. Alves and Elena were having fights. So you should have stayed completely neutral because you actually didn't know. Like, from their perspective, they actually did not know who could have done it. Especially if there was rumors about like loud, scary fights. I'm not going to say domestic abuse, but domestic disturbances at the very least. I can't. And then when Grace takes the stand, she put on a show. She put on a fucking show. She sat up there, I know him. He's not capable of this. La la la. She put up a whole front, right? Like, and then when the prosecutor comes up, she sings like a canary. And then the mom said, incapable of remorse, no regret, no feelings, no grief, no suffering. She laid it out there. Oh my God. She laid it out there. And then they played her 911 call. I was like, yes, roll the tape, roll the tape. Yes. She just sits up there. So Lily Rabe / Sylvia is the one who told, I guess she told her in the bathroom, girl, this is the most unethical shit I've seen in my whole life. She told her all about the sister, all about the family for Grace. I can't. Haley was big mad. She kept saying, objection, objection, sit down. The judge was like, have a seat. I can't. She was big mad. She was so upset. I'm like, why are you upset, dude? Your client is a fucking murderer. He's a murderer. Dude. Okay. And then on the fucking phone, Henry on that goddamn phone. And once again, and this is what I said, she's never watching her goddamn son. She's never watching him. Like, how did you let... First of all, you know your murderous husband, who you just betrayed in a court of law, is still out on bail. So are you watching your son? Are you paying extra close attention? Where do you have to be, by the way? I know she's lost a lot of clients. Where does she have to be? You know what I mean? Like, that she's not personally having eyes on her son. Like, what is she doing? Grace is a bad mom. God bless her, but she's a bad mom. I have to say it. I don't want to say it, but she has to say it. I have to say it. Also, is Henry stupid? Like, he's just a kid. I know he's just a kid, but this is not realistic in that usually when someone kills, they are violent beforehand. So it's kind of unrealistic that Henry wouldn't be scared at all of his dad. Like, he should have seen his dad lose his temper before. Like, you know, I don't know. It's just not realistic in that manner. And then Jonathan, it's all right. He's in the car, like, trying to pretend like everything is fine. Let's just go get clams. And I'm like, this is some rich people food. Let's go get some fried clams. And then they had me going. So let's talk about the very ending. Like, the end, the twist of the show was not who did it, but like, I feel like one twist was like Grace kind of throwing him under the bus, but was that a The very end with all the dramatics there, I feel like that was part of what they considered probably a twist. Excuse me. But what do I think? They had me going. I was emotional. I was caught. They caught me in those last like closing seconds of the show when she was running, Henry, Jonathan, no, Henry. And they're showing the flashback. They got me. I was like, ooh, what's gonna happen? Ooh, because you still think, to me, like, and here's another thing. This sounds so bad. I wouldn't have been holding on to his leg if I was Henry. I would be like, bye, Dad. I would have sat right in the car and been like, Dad, no. I wouldn't have got out the car, though. I would have screamed, Dad, no, but I wouldn't have got out the car. I'll tell you that. I would have sat right in the car. No, don't. Oh, Father. You know, like, that's it. That's all you would have gotten from me. After all that, you could have killed me twice. He was driving on the wrong side of the road. He could have killed him twice. Girl, I'm like, you could have killed me twice, girl. Go. You tried to blame me for your own murder. Girl. No way. So that's the end of the show. Let me know what you're going to be watching next. I really want to know about that. And I really want to comment and make some videos on it. And I guess I'll see you never. I don't know. Maybe I'll react to your reaction of the finale. I don't know. I have no idea. Like, let me know. Bye.